Hey everybody, it's Jeff, and this is the indie game Legend 3D Development Log Update 7. We've got 2 weeks to cover here, in which I prepared for another round of playtesting and a showing at Juegos Rancheros. So let's look at some of the major developments. A new weapon was added called the Big Shot. It shoots through crates and 1 HP enemies and does more damage than the regular or rapid shot. Although its effects are not finished, it does introduce the first use of distortion, which is pretty cool looking. Existing weapons also got improvements. Regular and rapid shots have a white bullet trail, and the exact target of bullets now varies within a range of the reticle for more realism, I guess? Game feel. I explored projection decals, which I used for now to improve transition tiles. They can also be used to add detail layers to crates in different sectors. However, using decals at all introduces performance overhead that forced me to start performance profiling. Some low-hanging optimizations allowed me to double the frame rate, but there's still a lot more that can be done. A particularly obnoxious performance bottleneck is loading the game sectors. It takes about 20 seconds to start the game. Game saves were finally finished. Although there are a few bits of state that are not persisted, they are functional enough for players to use and continue playing without starting over entirely when they die. This was a must now that there's 3 times the amount of content as before, nearly an hour of playtime. Based on previous player testing, we implemented some changes to the maps. They improved flow, pacing, and aesthetic detail. For example, we introduced tall grass to Sector 2. With it, we made some overgrown areas, we hid enemies, obscured doorways, just made the area feel more lush. A really helpful tool I wish I added sooner was an in-game toggle for God mode, and a special debug button that kills all enemies in a room and unlocks it. This really helps getting around during development and debugging. Sector 2 finally got a proper boss. Previously, both Sector 2 and 3 had placeholder bosses that were basically the same behavior as the Sector 1 boss. This is a new boss designed by Paul that I implemented, and I'm quite proud of it. It can still use tuning and fixes, but it's definitely a step up from the first boss and decently original. Finally, I did some play testing with friends. We got a lot of actionable feedback and notes, but only a couple of fixes were able to be put in before taking it to Juegos Rancheros. Luckily, there wasn't anything super critical. At Juegos, it got a good response from everybody that played it, including a designer from BioWare, and a developer at Unity that gave me his email to figure out how to improve loading speeds. It's only 2 weeks to GDC, and by then we'll have an announcement trailer and an early build of a limited preview release. This release is intended to get feedback from a larger audience, including you, before we go into full production for the remaining 6 sectors. So stay tuned for a pre-GDC update. Thanks for watching, like, subscribe, and then join us on Twitch over the next couple weeks as we continue to develop the indie game Legend 3D.